When the Romans came here, they were looking for somewhere to which they could dominate the landscape, somewhere close to guard a river crossing. And what they found here was absolutely ideal, because two sides of it are actually almost at a right angle. They got two sides of a Roman fort ready-made for them.
This fort at Drumlanrig is positioned at the junction of three Roman roads and is ideally located to guard a fording point on the River Nith.
We know from aerial photography that there's a temporary Roman camp in this field down below us here. You can't see it now because the conditions are not right. And there's a big marching camp in that field on the other side of the river. What that tells us is that must have been a fording point in this river here. There's a camp either side of it. So you can see how there's almost like a clustering of Roman activity around this point.
Having looked at the maps, Stuart knows this has been a fording point since the 1700s, and it may be the actual crossing point used by the Roman army.
It's such a good choice of location that would have been the same for all different periods, from the early forts right through to the later forts.
So is that why you think that there was this continual phasing of fort activity on that?
That's right. There was no need to move. This was a critical place in the domination of this valley to be able to control where they crossed the river.
In Roman terms, this was a small fort, probably housing something like 600 soldiers. Although some of them may have been outposted to man one of the very small fortlets, like this one at Durrisdeer, just half a day's march away. With so many Roman soldiers around, it's surprising that this is the first coin we've found.
The size tells me straight away it's Roman small change from the 1st or 2nd centuries.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a little bit smaller than the 1st century ones, so for my money it's going to fit with that Antonine date pottery we've had off the side. So it's going to be probably 130s, 140s, 150s. I guess that's what it's going to be. But the key thing is, where did it come from, Matt?
Well, we're getting underneath this demolition there, and it's just onto this floor surface, just lying on the floor surface here.
Right, so it's going to date the destruction above that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can I ask you about this now, Phil?
I think you can, Mick.
You've calmed down a bit, have you?
Not at all. You see, it does pay for you to go away. Because...
Well, absolutely, yeah, because it looks good, doesn't it?
Well, it does. I mean, I don't think there's any question about it. I'm slap bang in the middle of the headquarters building.
I mean, that looks like a really good hard floor you've got there.
It is. We've got this wonderful pink mortar floor. And
In fact, we're finding evidence of the same mortar floor in both of these trenches across the headquarters building.
Yeah, well, you can see this label 513. It's exactly the same floor surface as Phil's got.
Right, so what, is that a foundation trench you've got there?
No, this isn't the foundation trench for this stone at all.
This big stone is thought to be a step, one of the few that's left in situ.
But sat on that is this floor here, and below it is another floor layer.
Is this our two forts? I mean, it looks like the 513 layer and my floor could be the second fort.
Yep.
And that 515 layer could be the early fort.
Yeah. So that's our first glimpse, actually, in the bottom of that hole of what's going on under all this lot, isn't it?
It just gives you an idea of the potential of this site, doesn't it? It's awesome. It really is.
We're only
awesome.
just going to tickle the surface, aren't we? What time we got
That's
left?
right.
Yeah.
Hello, my name's John Gator. Time Team is fan-funded by Patreon. This vital support helps us to make new episodes. Joining Patreon gives you access to exclusive interviews, 3D models and masterclasses, plus lots more.